So इंग्लैंड के पास है बेसबॉल पर हमारे पास है जायसवाल. I know, थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया. But what a game of cricket we've had today, with India dominating it and how. Welcome to Cricket Flavors, everyone. Let's talk about the game of cricket we've had today in India versus England, day one of the first test. So when England won the toss and decided to bat and came out to bat today, it was clear that they had that mindset, the baseball mindset, which was the approach that they were going to take on. They took on the Indian bowlers. Siraj, Bumrah, I had hoped would do a lot, but unfortunately hua nahi. They were beaten a lot of times. The batsmen were beaten a lot of times, but wicket nahi nikla. And unhone aage aake khela bhi. And that's the reason why they were able to score at a decent run rate. But the moment spinners came on, it was a spinning track. It was understandable, होना ही था, expected था कि जैसे ही वो आएंगे spinners, वैसे ही things will be at least tough if not anything else. लेकिन tough क्या, अश्विन ने तो अपना कमाल दिखाया ही, and in his second over on the 11th ball he broke the partnership. Ben Duckett को उन्होंने out कर दिया, and then जडेजा followed suit. उन्होंने भी second opener को out कर दिया, Pope को out कर दिया. And from a 55 for 0, England was reeling at about 66 for 3. And that's when another partnership took hold. So that was till lunch. They were 3 down till lunch. But then once lunch was over, when they came back to bat, they were not able to hold on to the innings as they would have liked. The run rate was slow, very less. So the baseball went out of the window. But then came Ben Stokes. I mean, he was already there, but he decided to take his time. And the 53rd ball he faced, he then hit it for his first boundary. He hit his first boundary, his first four to Jadeja, and then he took Jadeja on. I mean, his strike rate against other bowlers versus Jadeja was poles apart. While with other bowlers, it was like around 42, 45, maybe a 50 odd. With Jadeja, it was 142 something. So he was taking Jadeja to cleaners. And he was the only bowler against whom Ben Stokes was displaying some kind of a baseball approach. अच्छा, एक चीज और हुआ. One thing that happened when Joe Root was batting. So there was an appeal of LBW, and India, appeal, and the umpire turned it down, and then India took DRS. But it seemed like the DRS was also against India today or whatever, because there was some controversial decision involving that particular DRS. Because from what I could see, when the ball had not even reached the bat, there was a spike. There was already a spike. And the spike became higher. There was a longer spike when it was very close to the bat, which in my book would mean a nick. There was some bat and ball contact. But the umpires, the third umpire, and the DRS umpires, they ruled it not out because they figured it was it was not clear that if the batsman was out or not. They felt that it was inconclusive. So that was something which put India on the back foot a little bit, because it was like an unfair decision or something like that, because if you don't count the fact that there was already a spike, and if you just count the fact that it went higher, then it means clearly there was some kind of a bat involved. But well, that was not to be. And then India lost all of their decisions before all the wickets were down. So I think it was the eighth wicket. That's when 8 wickets down. That's when Ashwin, made an appeal which the umpire turned down, and Ashwin convinced Rohit Sharma to go ahead and take the DRS, which was the final DRS, and that was also not out. So when that happened, Rohit Sharma was really upset, because obviously he lost all the reviews, and if there is some kind of a need, and for the next 2 wickets, you never know. But the very next ball, Ashwin decides to clearly get the batsman out. It was all bowled. No DRS involved, no umpire's decision, was clear out. So it was like he redeemed himself. But coincidentally, while bowling, England also lost all their reviews. But their problem is that they've only got 1 wicket so far. We'll come to that. So that was about England's batting. The baseball approach did not work. The spinners were heavy. वो batsmen पे हावी थे. We were able to take all the wickets. We got them out for less than 250 runs, which, if you ask me, is not a very high total. But then some would argue that even England is batting with so many spinners, so India could face problems too. Well, will India face problems? Did they? Because they also got to bat today, and they batted their way into this game. And that brings me to my original pun, baseball versus Jaiswal. So baseball may exist, maybe an approach which you have to really, follow and practice, but the natural hitting game is what counts, and that's what Jaiswal showed today. From the beginning of the match, from the very beginning, the very first ball he faced, he hit it for a four, and after that he was unstoppable. His strike rate was amazing. I think after having slowed down a little bit, it came down to a run a ball, but otherwise it was higher than that. And the best part was when he took the debutant, Tom Hartley. He just punished the bowler. I mean, the very first ball that Tom Hartley bowled of his international test career, since he was debuting today, Jaiswal hit it out of the park. He hit it for a six. And the first over went for 12 runs. There were two sixes in that over. His first two overs went for 25 runs. The first one was 12, the second one was 13 runs. And Tom Hadley by far was the most expensive of the English bowlers. Because after Jaiswal went after him, Rohit Sharma also decided to not spare him. और जो उसकी शक्ल पे खुंदक वाला फेस बनाया हुआ था ना, खुंदक चढ़ी हुई थी. He was really upset कि मेरे को मार दिया, like डेब्यू मैंने किया और आज ऐसे मार रहे हैं मुझे. So beautiful batting by the openers. They were able to, come up to a century of the opening stand. Then Rohit Sharma got out as usual. Didn't hit the ball, in the right direction. Top edge went really high in the sky and then was caught out. And the moment he hit it and looked up at the ball, he knew he was gone and he made that face. But then Shubman Gill came and he hung in there, gave full support to Jaiswal. The scoring rate did slow down because I guess the ball got older and the spinners were able to do their trick and able to turn the bowlers. Coincidentally, Hartley is a spinner, not a pacer, but he was taken to the cleaners. But then he came back in the game because he was able to put a break on the kind of scoring that was, the kind of runs that was being scored against him. I guess it was because the ball got older and there was more spin. But then Indian batters are known to be expert as far as playing spin is concerned. So the Pacers didn't really have much to do today. However, Bumrah did get a wicket, and that a very important one, that of Ben Stokes. But even his ball, they were showing that the ball that he bowled, there were about four deliveries that he had bowled prior to that, which were at a higher speed of about 142, 143. But then that particular ball was a slower one, it was 123 odd, speed. And then once he got the wicket, it was shown that he was gesturing to the, I think it was Jadeja or Ashwin, that he was doing this wrist moment where he was like, I think he tried to turn the ball, and that's what got him the wicket. So I guess that shows that it's spin who's boss on this particular pitch. The spinners are in total control. However, those who can play spin well, as Indian batsmen can, most of them can, do have, a great advantage, as has been shown by the Indian batters today. Let's see what tomorrow holds, for India. As far as the sessions are concerned, in two of the sessions, it was India dominating, and one session was shared between India and England. So clearly shows that India was the dominating side on this day. England's plan to probably put up a huge total after going ahead and, or going all guns blazing, going out and with their baseball approach did not really work. It backfired on them. And then India did a Jaiswal to them. Excuse the pun again. But I have to say, it is a pleasure to watch Jaiswal. He is such an amazing treat to watch. He is such a beautiful player of the game. His shots have such beauty. I am almost tempted to say that he reminds me of a younger Tendulkar. When I was younger and I used to follow Tendulkar, I used to get the same goosebumps watching the shots that were played, those cover drives and those straight drives. But of course, Jaiswal didn't play those. But the sixes, I mean, beautiful, juicy, long ones, and full of technique, not just power hitting. I don't think Jaiswal is a power hitter. That's Rinku Singh. That's Rohit Sharma. But Jaiswal is pure technique, pure timing, and it's beautiful to watch him. And I'm so amazed that India is able to churn out such amazing players year after year. era after era, so if it was the Dulkar's era that ended, before it ended, Kohli was in the picture, and then now it's Kohli's era that's going on. Kohli, if Tendulkar was here, Kohli is here. But I still say that Tendulkar is God, Kohli is the king, you know. But Kohli's popularity, Kohli's flamboyance, his attitude, his aggression, as well as childish nature, the aggression towards the opposite team, towards his batting, towards his fielding, but the childish nature that he displays towards his teammates, towards the public, the crowd that is gathered in the stadium, the nuances, the histrionics he puts up in the field. It's just a treat to watch him, even when he's just standing over there and fielding. I mean, there's a DJ playing a song, and right there you can see Kohli dancing on that particular number, imitating the steps that were meant for that number. I mean, he's just such a vibe. He is a pleasure to watch. But enough about Kohli. We were talking about Jaiswal. So I feel that before Kohli's era ends, we already have a lot other players whose era it's going to be the next one I'm talking about. Whether it's Jaiswal or Rinku Singh or a Rituraj Gaikwad or a Shivam Dubey, that yet remains to be seen. Even Shubman Gill and Ishan Kishan and Shreyas Iyer, who are already, midway probably or slightly ahead than these other players. Or maybe it's going to be a combined era where we have this dominance over the world of cricket because we have such great players who are in their best of forms. And, not just one player, but the entire team is full of stars and superstars. And already we have that. I mean, if you look at our team, considering the fact that 6 of those players have been chosen as the ODI in the ICC ODI Team of the Year, you can imagine that in the future, it's going to be all 11 players. Because it's probably going to be India versus the rest of the world. They will pick the creme de la creme from the rest of the world, and that's the team that's going to be able to defeat India, if at all. Even compete with India. The rest of the teams will be like, we're not going to play with them. We're going to play amongst ourselves. Let them be on top. That's just my speculation, but I seriously see that happening in the future. I mean, don't you? Comment करके बताना if you agree with me or not. Because amazingly, we have that kind of talent. इतना टैलेंट हमारे कंट्री में है, इतना ज्यादा, और हर मैच में आपको दिखने को मिलता है, हर बार आपको पता चल जाता है कि माय गॉड, लुक एट दिस गाय, इसने कैसा परफॉर्म कर दिया, उसने कैसा परफॉर्म कर दिया, जो आता है परफॉर्म करके चला जाता है, which is what is so amazing about our cricket. So, well, the future remains to be seen. Right now, it's this match, and we are in a good position. The first day belonged to us. We have 4 more days to go. With 1 innings of England already over, it means 3 more innings left, ours and then the next 2. Let's see who emerges the winner, but it's one thing for sure that there will be a result in this match. All the best, Team India. Let's hope we are the winners. Keep watching my videos and subscribe to my channel. Comment any feedback you have. I'll really appreciate your support. Thank you and bye-bye.